welcome everyone again. So today we are going to talk about how to sell art to corporate, which is a very, very important topic if you want to find additional revenue instead of selling artwork to individuals, collectors. So before we start, I do want to do a survey about what you are going to target to learn today. So we're going to talk about everything I just asked in the survey. So we're going to have the introduction, understanding players, what to sell, how to sell, and also whether you can find what kind of partners you can find in the process. The first is the introduction of the corporate art market. What do you need, right, for your sorry, it's sorry for the title. Why do you want to sell to the corporate client? The first reason is very simple, mostly workable for many artists, is you want financial opportunities, right? You also want steady demand. As I mentioned, once you establish very stable relationship from some corporate client, it will become very steady income, and which also because you're collaborating with a corporate, which means they have a team actually to work together with you, and you can leave many things actually to them as well. And another very important thing is you can get like more exposure and recognition, and also get credibility and prestige, because this is usually when you collaborate with corporation, should be something you can put under your news or under your resume. And also you can do networking and also customer projects, especially if the project like such as public art or immersive art is very, very big, needs a lot of financial support and also big spaces to do that. Probably it's very hard to do a big public installation for individual, like someone's villa or something like that. So many artists, that's also many artists why are very interested in working with big corporations. Okay, so why corporate are buying art? So that's kind of the first step for us to understand this area. The first is like very easy, right? They're kind of the same, similar to those decorating their homes. They want to decorate their office. They want to decorate their hallway, shopping mall, property, etc. Another is they want to do the branding. They want their art, to show their brand, such as some tech companies. They usually collaborate with like, muralist, corporate muralist, pop artists, because they want to show they're creative, they're revolutionary, and they are from the grass. They're very, very different. And another is they want to resell and differentiate from competitors. Remember their business, so they do want financial return as well sometimes. So that's why they collaborate with artists, because they think they can get a benefit out of this, especially with the numbers, with the money. So that's why they want to buy or collaborate with artists. Many of them actually corporations want to support local artists because it gives them like connect to the communities. So in their mindset, why do they want to connect to the communities? Because they usually, especially for like local retailers or local restaurants, right? The community is their target audience, target customers. So that's why they hope after collaborating with local artists, they can reach out and build like more sincere and close relationship in the community. They also want to some of them want to engage with clients and visitors, because they want to make their place looks interesting and fun. Or it's just for well-being. It's just, we all know art therapy, art has like certain therapy like effects actually on human beings' brain and also psychology. So many companies actually care about that. They such as hospitals, such as some big some firms with a lot of stress. So they care about employees. So that's why they implement art into their office as well. Some are even more straightforward. It's really for investment and legacy, especially when you become very successful, right? You want to show people you're not buying cheap print from Walmart anymore, right? You're not buying like $10 print. You are actually collaborating with artists, the same thing as individual collector, right? Some people become rich and they want to buy art, so that shows their taste and leave the legacy and build their foundations, even the museums, etc. And another is like they want to symbolize the success. So it's really very similar to investment and legacy. So after understanding, of our the basic understanding of the market, let's understanding who are the buyers, who are the players in the art in the corporate art market. Okay, so let's start with like what exactly companies are buying art. So the first is the corporate office and buildings, and so if especially in those big cities with like high skyscraper, big big office or fancy like downtown, etc. But why are they buying art? They're buying art usually for two reasons. One is just for decoration. They want it like they stand out, it's just the statues, and they want to do branding as well, show their taste, show to their client, show to the community, to let people know what kind of companies they are, right? So they usually when they choose the artwork, they will think, okay, whether the images or like those art will fit into their space or not. So who are making the decisions? So some of you might think selling to the corporate is quite hard because, to be honest, if you talk to a person in a corporation, you probably will not find a person called art buyer or something like that. Unlike some other, if you sell desktop, right? You usually they have someone responsible for that in a company. But for art, it's very untraditional. So that's why we figure we spend years in the industry actually figure out who is making decisions. Some like if the company is small, it's only one building, not a big property, etc., or it's just a small office or something like that. So usually the owner is the decision maker for art, especially buying from, you guys are professional artists. So especially when they buy from professional artists. And so sometimes HR, especially for big companies like Fortune 500 companies, HR might have decision to do that as well. But in most cases, the person you can connect with is interior designers and architect, because especially if you want to sell, like let's say, if you want to sell your artwork into the office of Procter & Gamble, I just give a random name, and usually they are very, very big team, right? And if it's a new building, it's a new office, there are a lot of people working on that. And art is just a small part of it. So usually they will hire interior designer and architect to design a whole building and a theme. And the interior designer actually will do the mock-up, include some artwork already in the images. So if the client see the mock-up, if they see like the artwork already there, they said, okay, we want those artworks. If even they don't like it, they probably like the similar style. So that's why I put a star here, for interior designer and architect, which is the most important in selling to corporate office and buildings. So I categorize law firms and consulting firms separately because it's managed by partners. Even it's a national, like let's say McKinsey or some big law firms, and they are national, let's say they're national law firm, but still they're managed in different cities by partners. They usually have operational partners as well, who is in charge of all those details, etc. So for them, they not only do the decoration, right? They are not for the branding. They usually want to symbolize success. Of course, we're not talking about those like small law firm or like random like small consulting firms. We're talking about those world leading and the luxury, the premium, the consulting firms, etc. So they want to show their client, because usually think about who their clients are. Their clients are like Fortune 500 companies, like international companies, like top tier companies, right? So they want to show, okay, we actually are doing very well, and we have a lot of people who know the industry, and artists kind of symbolize their success, both financially, but also networking wise. So that's why they do buy a lot of art. And very interesting is they're very supportive to local artists as well, because they think it's cool. And they also organize events sometimes to, catering their clients, because they invite artists as well, because they think it's very different, which is, sometimes you can buy like a very nice dinner, and it's also very easy to buy luxury goods, etc. But it's not easy actually to meet established artist right in the office and talk to the person. So do think about that. And also because they are very small firms, so the people making decision is almost similar, like the owner, HR, interior designer, and architect. And even like because but one thing is different from the last category. Usually there are a lot of owners in the law firm. They have different partners. So even that partner is not a decision maker. But if you happen to know somebody, he can talk about your art and about your idea to their other managing partner or their in the company. Okay. Another category, like which I also separate under the office, is tech companies and a startup. So if you ever worked with tech company, and you will heard a lot of news, right? So once they fundraising, the first thing they buy actually is fancy computers, and also very, very expensive desktop, and also have rent a big office space and begin to buy paintings, etc. Why do they do that? Of course, they want to do the decoration, but also because they want to symbolize their success, because they want to show people, see, we're creative, innovative in the space, but also we be able, to give very well-being to our employees, especially early stage employees. It also helps them to hire and also fundraising. So that's kind of, because they also still need to fundraising and convince the clients. So the same thing is like you want to dress up nicely and to convince your potential like partners in the future. And also they care about employee well-being. Tech company is famous for offer kind of, they offer a lot to their employees. They compete with each other because it's usually very expensive, right, to hire an engineer, and especially for good engineer, like usually tech companies, they probably can't offer a lot of cash. So that's why they offer like a lot of other things to complement and compete with those big tech companies. The big tech companies, that's why they do the same thing as well. So who are making the decisions? Again, if it's a small company, right, usually it's just the owner. And also I would say it's not regular, because usually some tech company, the owner, the founder, they love art. They probably collecting art at home as well. And so that's why when they have a company, the first instant is like they are going to buy artwork as well, which we met many of those folks because they either have experience in collecting art, either their friends or family have the experience to buy art, and they have special kind of connections to the artist, want to support artists. Other is the same, HR, interior designer, and architect. So this is another category. So I want to talk about this category as well. It sounds like also an office, right? Financial institute, like banking, investment banking, real estate developer, right? They have a lot. If you go to JP Morgan's office building in New York, you will see a lot of like artworks, a great collection, a lot of famous artworks. So why are they buying art, right? So first is they want to symbolize the success for sure, but also very different from other companies because they work for the financial institute and they do have a lot of connections with the a lot of connections with other the auction house, etc. And they also have personal wealth department, which they help those millionaires, billionaires to manage their investment, including additional, like, untraditional asset investment, which is like investing wine, etc. The real estate developers share like very similar thing as well, because they have a lot of cash and they need their cash to actually invest in different things as well. So for them, another very interesting, probably you've heard of that, is the tax benefit. That's why if you go to the Art Basel, no matter where you are, right? Basel every year we have one in Miami, in Basel in Switzerland, and also one in Hong Kong. You will meet a lot of people from financial institute or people being hired by real estate developer. The reason is very easy. They have a lot of cash and probably their return from the bank is not that good. And all the investment actually is a very good investment as long as you make it right. And also a very good thing is it's tax-free, very different from stock, etc. So who are making decisions? Usually it's owner and partner. But for the real estate developer, because they have a lot of places, so sometimes the asset manager or project manager might have the decision power as well. But again, usually the people who's been able to, invest a lot in buying art, they're not small firm. Unless really like a high management, like a senior management from the company, we also suggest to talk with interior designers and architects, especially those firms in the big cities, like a major art city, New York, London, Paris, LA, Chicago, etc. Because they also like all those big interior design firms headquarters were busier and they have the access to approach to a lot of luxury premium projects, which you want to be included because usually art is not someone just buy for fun, right? Okay, so let's dig deeper into the real estate because it's really a big business. This is also we have most experience here because I work for commercial real estate before, which I almost do all those business. I kind of understand what's their mindset before, and also if because many of you already know me a while now, and so in the past, like I helped my former employee to establish their portfolio and also get museums and art foundation as well. So I'm going to explain why and what they're looking for to buying their art. First is the multifamily building. So again, for the multifamily building, for commercial real estate, there will be two stages. The first stage is developing the property itself. It's a separate company. Sometimes it's a very big, huge company, but separate team. And they don't necessarily know each other. If your company have 2,000 people, right? So they probably don't know each other. So if you just want to sell the artwork like public art to multifamily buildings, you should talk to the development team, which they decide what they're going to build, what's the design, what kind of art they should put, what's the branding it is in the very beginning. And after the multi-family building is done, like it's already built out there, usually it's being managed by leasing team and also property management company. In that case, they have small decisions, but they don't have a lot of budget anymore. I mean, the development team, usually they have a very huge budget. If the company is really care about art, they will have their 1 to 3% of their total construction fee to do art, to buy art. Think about it, 1 to 3% sounds like not that big number, but think about usually building like a multifamily building costs like 1 million or something like that. 1% is a really good amount money to buy art from some artist. They do that usually for 2 reasons. The first is branding, right? Many multifamily buildings, they want to say, I want to be luxury buildings. For example, we have a client connections actually in West Hollywood, and they target, like, because they were in West Hollywood, they target, they want to be premium luxury, but they're also very new, and they accept application, whoever want to apply to live in a building, you need to have annual income at least $300,000 US. But why people should buy that, right? Why, if I'm the person who has like 300,000 US annual income, why do I want to choose to live in this building? So that's why they need to build a lot of a lot of service, a lot of also the building should look very different, very beautiful. They use the true art, and also we give them the concept to say, hey, you should say you are also a building with a gallery inside, which sounds like very premium, right? It also helps them to differentiate with competitors. So who are making decisions? So things are a little bit different here. If you can't find development manager, or if the building is already there, it's okay. You can still be able to try to sell to, the multifamily building. So you can connect with the marketing manager, interior designer, and architect. For the marketing manager, they don't have to be honest, they don't have their purchase power, but they're the easiest person you can talk to, because usually the people making decision is general manager. Apparently, it's unless you know the person and you know the person very well, that person like art, that. Otherwise, it's very hard for you, reach out to that person. Even the person, the art business, art part is a very small part for the general manager. But for marketing manager, it's different. They care about the brand. They care about how to differentiate with competitors. So you can make a statement. We can make a pitch to say, hey, yeah, I'm an artist. I have amazing art, right? And if you collaborate with me, buy art from me, or doing other things with me, will bring very unique advantage to you. So very similar thing to the shopping mall, department store. You need to reach out to the same person, marketing manager, and they are buying art for branding differentiation competitor, but also they want to engage with clients and visitors. That's very different, because for shopping malls and department stores, how they make money, they need people to visit their space, right? They want people to take pictures there, share on the social media, and attract traffic, and so that they can make money and their tenants can be happy. So that's why they constantly actually reserve the budget to do those tenant service and also marketing efforts to bring traffic, bring people to the building. What can be the better idea, right? If you have amazing art and interesting ideas for people to engage, interacting with art. So the people who are making decisions, usually you should approach the marketing manager, and they might talk to their VPs, etc., directors. Usually, they need to, it's a person of influencing the whole decision, and it's a person you reach out to. But also they need to report to their head so that they can confirm the budget, etc. Another thing I want to mention is this new role here, which we call PR firm. So PR firm, it can be very important for you as well, because usually for most shopping malls, department stores, especially if they are big is good, because it means they probably have the budget to do such innovation. They will have a PR firm, which they already hire to do window decoration, do social media, do PR press, etc. So your art idea is interesting, but also again can be a small part of the whole branding or whole marketing package. So you can reach out to PR firms to as a collaboration partner and say, hey, we can offer this. I think it's very interesting. We can add unique values to your clients as well. So this is for the shopping mall. And another thing I want to mention is co-working space. Why they are buying art? So they mostly because they want to differentiate with competitor branding, because the way they make money is very, very easy. They need tenants, right? The tenants pay. They need a tenant to stay as well. And who are making decisions? Mostly still the marketing manager, because they are responsible for making people in. So this is one client called Clean. So they renovate the space actually to rent out to the tech companies, the startups. You remember we mentioned the tech company startups before, but some of them, right, they don't have the HR yet. So they have the funding, they have the money, or even big companies, let's say Spotify, they want to expand to a new city. They need to rent a space because they don't want to go over all those crazy process. So they collaborate with this co-working space. And for them, so they want to differentiate, right? Their client is some big tech clients. They all have big pocket of money. So what they are going to do? So they want to differentiate and they want to be creative, have like murals at a place and make the space a little bit more engaging and creative. And also we do have some clients, the people we know in the co-working space who are very creative as well, which they have like special residential program for the artists, you know, like rent the space, a studio to artists at a very cheap price, which can increase, like when they sell to other tenants, they will say, you know what, we also have people like artists actually in this building. So because people working in co-working space, they care about community, they care about engaging with others. Usually they will ask, okay, who others are in this building? Okay. Boutique hotels and restaurants, I'm pretty sure like a lot of you are very interested into this. Personally, I know some of you already asked a question about that. So why they are buying art? First, they want to differentiate from competitors, right? And for example, like Rosewood Hotels and Resort, actually this is one of my former employees' property. And because they are one of the most expensive resorts and hotels, right? So they want to be differentiate. And you can buy the same chair, furniture, but you can't buy the same art. So that's why they care about. They even have an art foundation to select artists and also the artwork. W Hotel is the same thing. It's a little bit more chic. It's like, you know, it's more young, a little bit more prefer to digital artists, pop artists, like younger artists, because their clients usually is around like 25 to 40, which are successful, playful, and also young. And they want to engage with clients, visitors as well, because one of the biggest challenge in the hotels or restaurants is like, how do they make money? They don't make a lot of money actually for one-time visitor. They make a lot of money from loyalty customers, and how to make the loyalty customers like keep coming. So that's why they are like very key to, you know, hosting different events, etc. So Cork Hotel and also 21C Century Museum hotels, both of them have galleries just inside of their hotel, which is very cool. And I mean, every time you come, like every quarter, they will rotate exhibitions. They even sometimes have art workshops. So it's like you're living in a gallery, in a museum, which give people a very different experience. So who are making the decisions? First of all, owner, because many of those hotels either belong to very big group, but like Marriott, etc., but they only you know, a small vertical boutique brand, or there are a lot of individual boutique hotels, especially if you are in the United States. The growth rate is very very big. It boutique hotels like contribute to 3% of the numbers of rooms in the whole hotel industry in the United States, but its growth rate is very, very good. So which you should pay attention to. Many of them are individual investors, not belong to any chain companies, etc. So you can talk with the owner, like especially you heard of something in your local city, in your hometown. And also you can talk to marketing manager. Again, they are the person who, confirm like branding and also differentiating from competitors. That's their job. Or you can talk with project manager, interior designer, architect. Hospitals. Hospitals is a little bit different. It's mostly because they use art because, comforting people. So also they choose art very differently from other properties, other companies. And many of them for hospitals, for people to buying art, especially if it's a private hospital, the process is really similar. They write, it's probably the owner and also the project manager, etc. But if most hospital actually are public hospital, so usually they will have a foundation, which they do have professional art critics or like consultants sitting in the foundation to also they do a lot of open calls as well, or collaborate with galleries to select artworks. Home decoration and retailers, they want to do that because usually they want to resell, they want to, leverage the fame from the artist to attract audience, attract, their buyers, and they want to differentiate from competitors as well. Who are making decisions? This one is actually much simpler. Yeah, usually the person who are making decision is the product manager. The fashion brands share a lot of similarities with their home decoration brand, but one thing different is they buy art. It's not only for resale, right? Sometimes they don't care about resale, but they care about showroom and packaging, etc., or like unique experience. If you have chance, like if you're interested in working with luxury house, and usually they have private VIP dinners or VIP events, which they do incorporate a lot of artistic elements into their venue, and they invite artists. It's not uncommon. It's actually very, very common for them to collaborate with artists to organize workshop, unique event or experience. The people who are making decisions, it really depends on which way, what thing you want to sell. If you want to collaborate with them, let's say you're just selling your artwork, you can talk with like their marketing manager, their the PR firm, and the marketing agencies. If you are thinking of to licensing your art or something like that, you should talk with a product manager and merchandise manager. So one example is we want to highlight here. Don't forget you might have a lot of allies from PR firm and a marketing agency. We have established artists which been amazing to actually collaborate with Old Navy on a PR video. So the video is he created an artwork for that Old Navy, and part of like after creation is he create using a t-shirt from Old Navy, and after the shooting, and Old Navy donate all those like 3 million worth t-shirt to the families in America during COVID, and that video gained 1 billion views, actually, like in TVs, on internet, altogether. And artists got a great exposure because the artist is kind of in the middle of this advertisement, this PR campaign. So another thing is I want to mention is the government. A lot of government, especially in the US, I mean, I know Asian market as well, a lot of government buy art, and why do they want to do that? Because they want to support local artists, very simple. And also they want to do branding for the city. How the government, usually they want to do tourism, right? So that's how they have like make city welcoming and also attractive to visitors. And so government is usually they don't collaborate a lot with commercial parties, but so they are more willing to collaborate with artists individually. And the people who are making decisions usually is the city committee and the art foundation, and they do a lot of open calls. The way you can do that is like you can check your local government website, and you can just Google your local government name and art and culture or economy development bureau or economy development department. Then you will see they probably have a lot of supporting program to the artist, including buying artwork from the artist. Or another thing you can do is especially in the US, you can just approach the government to say, hey, you know what? I think that highway, the entrance highway, just very ugly. I think we should do something with art to make it better. Why is that? And I'm an artist. I have this proposal. You can reach out directly as well. Usually the government staff will be very responsive to your suggestions and also your proposals. Other things we did not list today because those are a little bit different topic, and also take like another half an hour just to talk about them. But you can think about it if you think your art is fit, especially if, for example, if you are digital artist, you can think about entertainment industry as well. Like you can do like film, TV posters, trailers, album covers, etc. Especially for those TVs and film have big investment, like what we call like golden project. They do have a lot of they will have the budget actually to hire the true artists rather than random designer in team to do those work for them. And also for the same thing at the album, you can, if you have artists like musician friends, you can collaborate with them as well. We heard a lot of the stories actually, like because some musicians are not in the very beginning, life years can be very hard for them as well. So musicians and artists collaborated with each other, and later probably the musician become the superstar. And then people also realize the visual artists who did the cover for the band or something like that. If an illustrator, you can try with the media newspapers such as like Times, like New York Times, Washington Post, etc. for the cover illustration. And usually they don't work with individual artists. There are a lot of agents outside there who represent illustrator artists and to propose to those media companies. Also for nonprofit organization, especially those local ones, and you can also think about it, right? There will be charity events, fundraisings. You don't need necessarily to give everything for free. You can still charge them, but just, probably you're going to give discount or something like that. Okay, so we run quickly about, a lot of, so I'm kind of wonder what kind of client you guys want to target. Let's back to like what to sell. We just talk about what kind of clients you can find, and so what exactly you are going to sell. I'm not going to launch this because we're running out of time. So is art the only thing you can sell to corporation? No, be creative. Okay, the things you can sell to corporation is artwork. It can including public art, original art, commission work, or print. Many clients are actually, especially for office decorations, they might not have a lot of budget to buy artwork. So that's why instead of buying original ones, they will buy the print. If their company decorate office and also for investment purpose, they usually will buy original artwork, and also they will care about the resume of the artist, whether the artist, the pricing is rising up or not. Also, you can do with the copyright, which is you can licensing your art and also take commissions or licensing to the client. So most clients such as home decorations, like, even like Target, they do collaborate, they have artist program as well. Like Nike, right? They have artist program, which they license artwork from the artist, and artists usually create for them. And if you are being selected, they are going to produce shoes with your design, and you get paid like after each, usually it's depends on the industry and also company, but usually the licensing fee is 5 to 30% based on their sales price. And also it's usually we categorize it as passive income, because once you've done it, you just need to take a rest, and the money will go to your bank account. And also you can sell your events, workshop, art event therapies as well. We want to emphasize that because many artists did not realize, first of all, art market is very competitive. Actually, a lot of people outside there trying to sell art to the corporate clients. And also, they're not professional art collectors. So most people you are talking to, they're not critics, right? People make decisions, many of like emotional reason. So that's why usually, starting with workshop, art event, art therapy, etc., it kind of establish relationship with the people in the company, and you never know what those relationship can lead you to. It might lead you like, some personal, like individual collector. Some people might move to another company, and the other company actually have the budget and actually want to have that, right? So they will think about you. So event is kind of like the usual ticket size is very small, but it's a great way to start with. And also the benefits is such as discount, special event, like, treat something like that. We mentioned that is sometimes if you just enter to the office to say, hey, I want to sell you a painting, $5,000 US, probably people say, okay, but why it's worth 5,000? Right. So, and also say, okay, if total the package is over 10,000, we need a lot of approval from different people to buying art at such big number of. But usually if you say, okay, how about we partner together first? I want to come here to talk to your employees, and your employee, when they move to a new place, they can gain benefits, discount from my studio. And so their HR might be feeling cool. And also it's a great way for you to reach out to those person, and also to establish a relationship with certain companies. An example I can give to you is because I'm based in San Francisco, and San Francisco Art Week is trying very hard. The art fair is trying very, very hard to reach out to, the people who are the potential buyers. And traditionally, thinking in the Bay Area, you have a lot of like engineers got paid a lot, but they are now buying art. So the way they do for that art fair, they collaborate with Google, like, give Google employees free +1 ticket to attend the fair without paying, and they have a lot of premium access, etc. as well. Yeah, so this is something you can consider. And also some style the corporate client will prefer. The first is the abstract art, and also is minimalism, geometric art, and also they will prefer photography, landscape, monochromatic, anything like a little bit more simple. I want to mention a bit further about landscape. So for the landscape artwork, if you are artist painting landscape, usually for the clients, when they buy, they want something really related to their region. So if you are based in Paris, you paint something in France, in French, and it's very, very hard to send to some company in the Middle East of the United States, right? Because it's not connected to them. And also for digital artists, also some might be prefer mixed media, typography. Those are the styles the art, the clients will prefer. I would say abstract art and minimalism is currently most popular, just because the interior design trend is in the same trend as well. I put pop art style separately because it's a little bit different. So if you're doing murals, usually they will hire local artists or like very famous international known artists to come. And you need to really paint something related to the local community, to the city, or to the company. Also, usually the brands who are willing to use pop art style is targeting young consumers such as Gen Z generation, etc. Like traditional premium luxury brands, they still prefer not to collaborate with pop art. And Asian market is also very big because Asian market, most art collectors are younger, much younger. So that's also the companies want to fit into the market. And also in immersive art projects, a lot of pop art style or elements are being used. Other art types, including public art and immersive art, usually are commissioned. So usually you show your portfolio and then you change, you actually submit your design first because before you get a final approval. I want to be transparent about things corporate will see no. The first is something political, controversial statement, figure painting, social topic, etc. They will not do that, especially for artwork. They might the company support Me Too, Black Lives Matters, all those campaigns, but the truth is probably they're not just going to use put a painting or like statement in their office because they're worried about, because usually when you're buying artwork, you are thinking of putting it for like longer years, right? And there are a lot of also they're worried about being sued by certain group of people. So that's why they'll try to be very cautious, and that's why they're open to abstract work and no nude work as well, and also no figurative painting, etc. So first of all, I want to say, even those are usually no, the list is based on our experience. It might be you have different experience from us, and also don't take it personal. It's not attacking your art or like where you come from. Usually it's just because they're corporate. They're showing artwork to a lot of people and different stakeholders. They want to be safe. They don't want to get into trouble because of certain artwork or artist. Yeah, so let's move to how to sell. First is you need to research and targeting. Kind of today we're doing that, give you a basic understanding which industry, which company you want to target, and also you should to target. And you need to figure out the person, exact name you need to connect with, and also do the network. After that, you should have a professional portfolio. Again, many artists, the image is not professional. Usually it's not that good because for especially for business clients, they get used to receive very beautiful PowerPoint, and their mindset is like, okay, if you're an artist, your things should be very clean, very stylish, representing who you are. So they want to learn about your stories as well. So you want to build a connection with them as soon as possible. Then after that, you need to have a pitch, which is very, very different from selling to the individual, because selling to the individual, you just say, oh, do you like the artwork? Okay, you like the artwork. Let's talk about, the price, the sizes, how to fit into your space, etc. But company is different because not only one person is making decision. There might be several persons making decision. And so you need to have a pitch. You need to, talk in the format of PDF or PowerPoint, and you should speak in their business language. If it's a luxury brand, right, or like a very old-fashioned brand, or like very like financial institute, you're not going to propose pop-up to them because they are more like people in suit. They're not young young folks, right? They're not tech people. And also show your art, make sure like your pitch is very beautiful, show your taste, okay? And speak in the language, how it works, how much it might cost, and also target the timeline, etc. That's the people, business people care about. And also you want to state the benefits. That's the most important thing. Why do I buy art? First thing you need to convince the person is, why should they buy art, right? And the second thing is, why should they buy art from you? You need to convince them with these two things. And so companies, they usually care about branding, traffic, revenue. And you should have a pitch to say your art can help them with that. That might be the most different part from selling to individual, because the individuals, they don't care about, ROI or the things, they just they're decorating their home. So you want to show that to the companies. Okay, and then you can reach out and connect, do the warm introductions, cold calls, partnership, meetup, and conference, and make sure you talk with the key decision maker. If you just meet someone in a company, you can ask them to refer the key decision maker to you. After that, you should, get involved in the discussion and customization. Unlike the individual clients, the corporate clients usually have a lot of requirements and they have a lot of questions, because they need to answer to their boss, make their life be easier. You need to request next meeting. Sorry for the typo here. After your conversation, book meetings because you want to they have a lot of things happening in their calendar. You don't want them to forget about you. And also, you might need to be a little bit more flexible to open to the customization. And don't just only talk, because most of them, they are running business. They're not even into this idea yet. Just as their boss asks them to do that. So in that case, make their life easier. Again, if you have an amazing idea, just don't use your visual skill to do the conversation, which means do the sketches and show your vision to them. Yeah. One thing I want to mention is I know usually artists are not sitting in the computer 24 hours, right? 7 days, but try to be responsive and reply as soon as possible. Because once you lost contact with those clients, it might be very, very hard for you to get them back, to get their attention. Yeah. And also when they contact with you, usually they're being asked some question by their colleagues or like boss, line managers. So you want to help them, you make their life easier, and so that they can give the budget and get a budget, allocate a budget, so that buy your art. So sign agreement, just one thing, please don't break the agreement. We have encountered that before. Like some artists break the agreement in the middle, like said, okay, I don't feel it, I don't want to create. Really don't do that. It will be very good, very, very bad reputation, might ruin your whole career in the corporate art sales. And also document collaboration, which is very, very important. After that, you should do maintain a relationship. Also, you should promote. Now you have something can put with the selling to the corporate. Once you start selling it, first deal is the hardest. The later become much easier. That's why I put a very long quote here. Also, the corporate is very, very slow. It takes like 5 months to build a relationship and sign agreements with us. So that's with them. So that's why it's very, very important to maintain the relationship. All right. So you want to sell to the same person so that you don't need to wait for another 5 months. And but it is possible. So to do everything, and that's why I said selling to corporate is not that hard, as long you're hardworking and you do what we've taught today. Keep doing that. Don't be discouraged. Usually you need to send a lot of email, reach out to a lot of people to get your first gig, and then later get a second one, third one, until some artists finally get it and even have a company to serving different clients. So other partners, I would just want to highlight you can have. If you think, okay, wow, it's really overwhelming. It involves project management, like sales, management, etc. So there are some people you can look for help. Studio manager, gallery. Some galleries will do that. If you want to find galleries, dealers, art agents, consultant to help, ask them what kind of client they have. Right. And also you can partner with interior designers, marketing firms, and also even collectors, because many collectors, they work in big companies or they are the owner of a business. Okay, last thing I want to mention, we have two supportive program. One is our fellows. We have newsletter featuring. We have our project referral, which we have our own class, as I mentioned in the presentation. And also we have lookbook featuring shared among interior designer group and home decor brands. We have a mail list around like over 1,000 interior designers, and we are continuing to building that list, and they are will be very happy to see your artwork. Another program we have is the premium program, program, which is we will also curate pitch deck and you know, do the cold calling and connections individually for you. So any questions, guys?